As you probably already know, I started off my morning the way I usually do with my favorite smoothie bowl and chocolate brownie granola, which I am forewarning you will make an appearance quite a lot in this video. Okay, I can't say I didn't warn you, but I've been getting a lot of messages lately about tips on how to manage this holiday season, and I figured I'd spend this time with you to share my own thoughts. Just as this time of year can bring people together and be a time to spread love and holiday cheer, I think it can also be a time filled with insecurities, self-doubt, anxiety, and loneliness. I remember holidays where I would spend so much time obsessing over what was being served and what I was going to eat and how much other people were eating that I never got to fully live in the moment. I was so consumed with the idea that somehow one day of indulging, one day of eating more than normal would make me lose control. But what even is normal? In truth, from what I've learned, there is no such thing as normal. There's just you. To judge your actions based on what is quote-unquote normal is to put yourself in a box. To define what is right and wrong based on predetermined societal standards rather than your own intuition is to only further separate yourself from your body. What is normal for you might not be normal for someone else, but you know what? That's okay. Not being quote-unquote normal is what makes us unique. It's what makes those who love you even more. I just want to say that I absolutely love this sauce. I got it at Whole Foods and I've been using it on everything. So yeah, if you've never tried this sauce, highly recommend. When it comes to eating, your version of normal might change from day to day. It might be more some days and it might be less, but it's never supposed to be labeled good or bad. Regardless, food is fuel for your body and food makes you stronger. Food helps you to have a regular menstrual cycle. It gives you energy to laugh, cry, love, speak, perform better in your workouts, and to make memories. So when you find yourself in those bound to happen food situations over the holidays, eat. Because counting memories over macros is always worth it. So on a side note, it's been getting pretty cold in Florida. We're actually expecting another cold front this week, but that's really meant putting aside the smoothie bowls and eating more warm breakfasts. So for breakfast on this Tuesday, I had some nice blueberry oats with peanut butter, cinnamon, and more blueberries, of course. And then I also had a smoothie, like a protein smoothie after my workout, kind of because I had just gotten my period that day, so I wasn't really feeling the best. I had a lot of weird food cravings and my cramps were really bad, so the protein powder I showed was okay. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. My favorite protein powder is the Sprout Living protein powder, which I will leave linked below if you want to check it out. But then I was feeling a bit hungry for something more solid after my cramps subsided, so I had an English muffin with some avocado toast, or with some avocado on it. And guys, you have to try the combination of cracked red pepper, everything but the bagel seasoning. Trust me, you'll thank me later because it's that good. But then for dinner, I had some soup because I still wasn't feeling so hot, as you can kind of tell. And the recipe for that is actually linked in my bio. It's actually also on my blog, so you can check it out if you're interested. But then after that, I had more food because I always need to end the night with a sweet tooth. And so I had 2 of my chocolate chip cookies, which are also on the blog. So I'll be leaving a link in the description box below for that. Now we're on to Tuesday, and Tuesday was a good day up until I did my workout, because I did a Lily Sabri workout, and let me tell you, she just about killed my legs. So I was really lucky that I was able to feel them after, but she does a lot of weird moves that I'm not sure there's even a name for them, but they work somehow. My body feels it. And I actually noticed that I feel like I've been getting a lot stronger and I've been feeling a lot stronger, so that's amazing. But I was dead by the end of this workout, just letting you know. And I'll definitely leave it linked below if you're interested in trying it or challenging yourself to it. So another question I get a lot is, how can I be happy when it feels like life is so hard all the time? And for starters, I would say that I'm not the best person to ask, because Like you, I'm only human too, and I have my good days and my not so good days, but there are a couple of things that I've learned on my own journey that I would like to share with you. So first, I never thought I would reach a point in my life where food would no longer be the center of my life, but instead, the new ringleader has been the pressure to control everything and everyone around me. One of the keys to happiness is letting go of judgment, and to let go of the labels we place on others and ourselves. You see, for me, what made me unhappy for a while was the fact that many of the people in my life didn't fit the ideal version I had of them in my head. I would often expect them to be able to read my mind, and when their actions didn't align with how I envisioned them to act in my head, I felt like I was losing control.
It's tacos, tempeh tacos, and I made like this vegetable, supposedly Spanish rice. It makes pretty good. It's really good.
There would also be times where I felt lonely. For me, the holidays would act as a reminder that my family wasn't straight out of a Christmas movie, and to be honest, it sucked. But I came to realize that I was doing a disservice to both my family and myself through holding on to these judgments. Because the truth is that just as no individual is perfect, no family is perfect. There's actually an art in Japanese culture called kintsugi, where pottery is broken and then reassembled with gold. It's considered a physical manifestation of resilience and is built with the belief that it is through embracing our flaws and imperfections that we can then go on to create more beautiful art. I had to accept that my family wasn't always who I wanted them to be, but they're enough, and that's all that matters. As cliche as it sounds, it's the little things in life that make it beautiful. So yes, my family wasn't always spending quality time together and having these big family dinners every day, but instead I chose to focus on the little things, like the late nights playing Clue, or our long debates about whether or not aliens were real, the hours spent watching my dad play video games, doing yoga with my mom, watching The Mandalorian with my brother, which, on a side note, I did cry for a solid half hour over the season finale, and I am still grieving, okay? But it's all these things that make my family special, that make them the unique, and that make them mine. So I invite you to look for the little things. Look for the gold that intertwines itself within your relationships, because those little specks of gold, they're more beautiful than you can imagine. I think kintsugi reflects itself also in how we perceive our own imperfections. I understand that during this time and all the times that follow that yes, they aren't perfect, but no one is. Not our families, not your neighbor, not your friends, not even the people you see on social media who have your dream highlight reel. If you find yourself magnifying your flaws and insecurities during this season, just know that you don't need to control them or change them in order to make it through the holiday season without losing control. You don't need to work out to stay in shape or afford Christmas dinner. You don't need to dress up extra fancy to hide your natural beauty or spend $500 on Christmas gifts to feel like you're giving enough to those you love. Realize that it's our imperfections that make us beautiful, that make us stand out, that make us loved by those dearest to us. You're already enough just as you are. Your intake, your workout routine, the money you spend on gifts, none of that changes how worthy you are. So today I decided to try Linda Sun's infamous protein pancakes, and they did not disappoint. They were very good. I really liked them. I think I made the batter a bit too thick, but overall I would give it a good 8 out of 10. I definitely prefer my Birch Benders pancake mix more, but these were a good thing to be different. And for dinner, we also had Thai food from my favorite Thai restaurant. I love this. I love the Penang curry. It's my favorite thing ever. I could literally eat it every single day. But yeah, and then we had to end the night with something sweet. I was still full, but I love ending it with dessert. So I had one of my cookies and some ice cream, which if you've never tried the chocolate coconut ice cream from Trader Joe's, you have to try it. It's my favorite ever, and it was so good. And we ended the night watching some of The Matrix, which was one of my favorite movies, and it marked the end to a great Thursday. So yay, we've made it to Friday, and as you know, I had to have a smoothie bowl. It is my favorite breakfast, and I don't know, I think the world would have to stop spinning for me to one day just not eat smoothie bowls anymore. But yeah, I had a smoothie bowl for breakfast, and then for lunch, it was basically just a lot of leftovers that I had sitting in my fridge that I wanted to kind of eat before it went bad. So I just had some roasted sweet potatoes, some of the leftover tempeh tacos, some of the bitchin sauce, which is so good. I'm so grateful I found that sauce, and some avocado. Today was also the last day my mom was working because she was retiring after being a teacher for over 25 years. So that was a really big accomplishment for her. So I decided to make her a carrot cake, which I will leave linked in the description box. But oh my gosh, this carrot cake came out amazing. I was a bit scared because I thought the frosting turned out a little weird, but like I can't describe it. It was so good. And yeah, like set aside the fact that I just had tomato soup and whatever for dinner, but this I had to have like 2 slices of cake because I couldn't get enough of it, and I'm so glad I made it. I'm actually looking at it right now, and I'm probably gonna have more tonight. So I just also want to remind you that have the extra slice of cake because you're so much more worth it than food and your body. I want you to take a moment to breathe. That's right, take a deep breath in for 4, hold for 2, and exhale for 6. We tend to go through our days at such a fast pace with our minds so fixated on what's next that we forget to just take a minute and sit in stillness. Sometimes the answers aren't in the future or in the past, but in the present moment if you only take the time to sit and listen to what they have to say. I also want to remind you that during the times you might feel like you're not in control, that you are in control of your happiness. You might not always have control over how certain situations in your life unfold, but you do have control over how you respond to them. So I hope you choose to keep your heart open, choose to not take things personally, choose to not place judgment on yourself and others, choose to show gratitude, to take note of the little things, to give to others, but also give to yourself. Choose love because love mends, love nourishes, love heals, and love is the answer. And you are always worthy of love. Always. I hope you all have a beautiful holiday season. I'm eternally grateful for our community and each other and every single one of you. And if you're new, welcome to the family because I am so happy you're here. Know that I'm sending so much love and light to each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. We just ran, so it's harder to own it. So if it helps, yeah, I'm here with